Hi, let's talk about API deployments. So we've gone over how to create APIs, how to protect your APIs, public versus private APIs, system users, and a slew of topics. Now you've built the API of your choice. You have amazing functionality. Now it's time to deploy. All right, so I'm currently in the in-house cloud console. I'm in my Hello World API. I currently have two endpoints, bye and hello. They both run very simple functions. My hello endpoint runs a hello world function that basically just says hello to whoever is named in the route parameter. The by endpoint runs a simple function called by function, and it just says by to whoever is named in the route parameter. All right. So these two endpoints are not deployed at the moment. If I were to pull up Postman, I have these two endpoints keyed up already. If I were to ping them, I get a response for API not found. If I were to ping the by endpoint, I get a message that says API not found. Now I want to deploy these APIs. So let's deploy these APIs to one of our three environments. Remember, on the in-house cloud platform, every single resource exists in three environments: web apps, APIs, automations, databases, and on and on. It all exists in three environments. So today we're going to deploy to our dev environment, which is our development environment. All we need to do is deploy the current version, which is version 18, to the development environment, click on deploy, and that's it. Our API is deployed. If I were to pull Postman back up and ping our buy API, we get the response message that we expected by Felicia. And if I were to ping my hello API, we get the response message that we expect. And just to prove that this is not hard coded, I'm just going to change this to Sam, and our message should be hello Sam. All right. So now we've deployed our endpoints. So now you notice that we have two endpoints that are deployed to the dev environment. But what if, let's say I'm still working on one. One is not ready to go live yet to any environments. So I've deployed both endpoints. If I were to come into the details page of any of these endpoints, and in this case, the buy endpoint, and scroll all the way to the bottom, I have the option here to undeploy this endpoint. I can pick the environment to which I want to undeploy from. In this case, it's only deployed to the development environment, so I'm going to select that. And once I click on the Terminate Development Environments Deployment button, this endpoint will no longer be deployed. All right, before I delete it, I'm just going to test it out one more time. It works fine. And the second I terminate that deployment and ping it again, API not found. So this API is no longer deployed. Another way to undeploy APIs, if I were to go back to the configuration tab, is to just undeploy the entire environment. So if I no longer wanted my development environments to be deployed, I can just simply click on the undeploy development deployment. I get a prompt. I say okay, and just like that, all my API endpoints in the development environment are undeployed. All right. If I were to go back to Postman, by API endpoint is not available, not found, and the hello endpoint is not found as well. All right. So now we have three environments. So what if I want to perhaps deploy to the development environment? Let's do that. And then I go make some changes. So let's say I go, maybe I create a brand new endpoint. Let's just do that. Just gonna call this delete, call this random, completely random. And I'm just gonna pick a function. Just gonna pick my buy function. Doesn't matter. We're actually not gonna test out this API. All right, so I'm gonna save this. So I've done some work, but now I have to deploy to the test environment. Now, I do not want to deploy version 19 to the test environment, which is what will happen if I just deploy directly, because I have the one endpoint that I just created that is not tested. It's not vetted, it's not ready to go to test. Now, what I can do is simple. I can just merge my dev environment to the test environment. So I could deploy directly into the test environment, or in this case, I can merge from my development environment to my test environment. And that's very simple. All I just need to do is point it to the environment I want to deploy to and click on deploy. Now my endpoint is deployed to the test environment. So if I were to go to Postman, change up the domain of the endpoint to point to the test, and ping it, I get my response. Same with this. If I were to test, ping it. So this API exists in the development environment and my test environment. All right. So we've seen how to deploy endpoints. We've seen how to undeploy individual endpoints from whatever environment that we desire to undeploy from. We've seen how to deploy our current version to any environment that we choose, but we also know how to merge environments. I have my development environment, I have my test environment. I can merge in any direction. I can merge from test back to development, from test forward to production. I can merge from development to test, from development directly to production, or I could just outright deploy the current version to any environment. We know how to undeploy entire environments, and now we've seen we can appreciate the power and the flexibility of the deployments and how it can satisfy so many different use cases. All right, this has been fun. I'll see you in the next video.